Calcutta Cup 2025, folks, is up for grabs with England hosting Scotland from Twickenham this weekend in the third round of the Six Nations, following on from Wales's match up against Ireland. This one looks like it should be a fair bit closer in terms of the world rankings. You got rank 6 up against rank 7, which are important spots in the world rankings in terms of the upcoming World Cup draw. Calcutta Cup up for grabs. England, Scotland don't like each other. This one, for mine, looks to be the game of the weekend, but hey, you never know how it is going to pan out. The squads have been named. They are very, very stable, and both these sides really need to get a win to keep their hopes alive, because if you get that second loss, you're pretty much goose is cooked. But we'll go through them, the squads, some stats, recent history predictions. You guys can let us know your thoughts on how this game is going to go. We'll start with England, who are the hosts. Minimal changes, basically the same starting 15 that played in that good win where they got it done against the French late. The only change being Ollie Chessum starting ahead of George Martin in the second row. Martin apparently had a bit of a knee injury in the build-up, so he did miss a little bit of training, but he's still fit enough to play, but they have put him on the bench. Otherwise, it is very much steady as she goes. Genge, Cowan-Dickie and Stuart, that's the same front row. It'll be interesting to see if they're able to kind of turn the screws on the Scottish pack, because there has been a little bit of pay there from some sides facing the Scots thus far. Itoje obviously continues on in the second row. He has been immense defensively, and then Curry, Earl and Willis. That's maybe looked the better of the two selections at the back row. I mean, Tom Willis last week, a fortnight ago, 16 from 16 tackles in a kind of real powerhouse performance. Ben Earl was getting through his carries and whatnot, and Tom has always got a bunch of tackles in him as well, so it's looked effective. Alex Mitchell, Finn Smith, that's the same 9-10 combo, so it's going to be Finn up against Finn in this one, but it certainly did seem to click with Finn Smith and Marcus Smith in their kind of 10 and 15 roles respectively. Smith was able, I know he made a couple of mistakes, but he was able to get a lot of ground there from fullback and is that kind of extra playmaking option as well. Henry, Slade and Ollie Lawrence continue on in the midfield. That is very much steady as she goes. And then Tommy Freeman on that right wing was deadly up against France. Great under the high balls. Got a try, got an assist, got through some attacking play. So he's certainly one guy to watch. Ollie Sleightholme on the other. Also a bit of a danger man, although we'll get to the Scottish wingers in a minute. But yeah, starting 15 for England. Very, very steady. George, Baxter and Hayes, same front row replacements as I mentioned, George Martin, and then Cunningham-South is there. We got Ben Curry, so it is a 6-2 split with Harry Randall and Elliot Daly, the two back replacements. So yeah, nothing major in terms of the changes for England. It's pretty much if it ain't broke, don't fix it. For Scotland, they have made a few kind of tinkering changes. Piers Schoeman swaps places with Rory Sutherland for another week. They've done that from week 1 to week 2. They're doing it from week 2 to week 3. Dave Cherry and Zander Ferguson continue on. Dave Cherry has been getting the line-out darts thrown in pretty well. He's been good over the ball at the breakdown, so seems to be pretty solid at number 2 for Scotland since he's been getting the starting job. Jonny Gray and Grant Gilchrist in the second row. I really want to see Jonny Gray just tackle the house down, but Scotland have had too much ball in their games to really show the best of that ability, but we'll see if he's able to get a bit more of that defensive shift going if England hang on to the ball. Jamie, Ritchie, Rory, Darge and Jack Dempsey is one of the changed spots, with Ritchie starting ahead of Matt Ferguson, who drops to the bench the number 6 jersey. Darge has been a bit of a tackling machine in his own right. I think he was 15 from 15 in the last game against the Irish, so expect him to be one of the top tacklers of the game as well. Ben White and Finn Russell, 9-10. It's pleasing to see Finn fit because of that big knock he took, which saw him leave the field early in that defeat to the Irish. Tom Jordan, Hugh Jones, same midfield, but in the wings, I really want to highlight Duhan van der Merwe because he always seems to save a good game against England. Like, against the Irish, he had 33 run meters, which is, for a winger, it's not terrible, but it's nothing to really write home about. But in his last 2 games against the English, he's had 89 and 90 metres, and he scored 3 tries in the last one and 2 tries the one before. So he tends to do well against England. Kyle Rose had to come in on the right wing. Darcy Graham, they're giving him an extra week because he was on the other end of that big head clash with Finn Russell, so that makes sense. Good to see them be cautious and not rushing back. Blair Kinghorn continues on at 15. Bench-wise, Ashman, Sutherland and Hurds are pretty much same, with Sutherland dropping to the bench. Sam Skinner, Gregor Brown as well. And they've also gone 6-2 with Matt Ferguson being the other forward. And then Jamie Dobby, versatile 9 who can cover the outside backs as well. And Stafford McDowell, your kind of midfield replacement. Stats-wise, England under Steve Borthwick managed 8 clean breaks against France, which is high for a Steve Borthwick team. But they also conceded 9 clean breaks, which is a little bit concerning because not every team is going to drop as much ball as France did, particularly in that first half against England. Obviously, we've got to give a bit of credit to the English defence for that, but some of that was just the French hands. You can't guarantee the Scots are going to drop that much ball. And interestingly, both English games thus far in the Six Nations have ended with flurries of points in the final 20. So should be kind of edge-of-your-seat stuff come the final 20 minutes, hopefully. Scotland, funnily enough, almost did drop as much ball as the French did in their game against Ireland. They had 13 knock-ons, which is far too high. They'll have to keep that number a lot lower against the English, but their line-out has been solid for the second game in a row. And one thing which might be promising for them, if it is a nail-biter at the final 20 minutes, is thus far in the Six Nations, Scotland have scored 19 and only conceded 3 in the final 20. So they are finishing games well in terms of points scored and points conceded. Recent history between the sides, Scotland are on a 4-in-a-row winning run against England, including 2 wins at Twickenham. In my lifetime, I feel like this is kind of unprecedented level of Scottish success, particularly down in England. The most recent English win is the 2020 match at Murrayfield, where it was 13-6. But most of the games tend to finish close. 13-6, 11-6, 20-17, 29-23. Like last year's 30-21 counts as a big scoreline in terms of the gap between the sides. They are usually proper nail-biters. The average score is 19 Scotland, 16 England across the last 5. So usually pretty close. The bookies are predicting to be kind of close. They're saying England by 8. The Rugby Forecast algorithm is also predicting England, but England by 6. So it could be potentially another nail-biter at Twickenham. 4:45 local kickoff is 5:45 for me here in NZ, but I'll be up anyway because the other game would have started a couple of hours earlier between Wales and Ireland. Frenchman Pierre Brousset is the referee for this one. Any England fans want some England gear, check out England Rugby Store down in the description. They're an affiliate of the channel. Get yourself some England gear in support of your lads, especially after that win over the French. But yes, you guys let us know your thoughts. How well do you think these teams match up? Scotland have traditionally really saved their best performance for England in recent years. And both sides need to keep their campaigns alive. You guys let us know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.